No, but I wanna finish talking about how dry it was in California.
Oh, Lord.
You got to talk about how dry it was in
Don't
California.
tell these people about my feet.
What's up, you guys?
Treat your best!
So I know it's been a while since you guys saw the last episode of our out west trip when we were in Boise, Idaho, when we were stranded. I won't say stranded, but we didn't have a campsite. We were in a hotel.
Yeah, it was hard times.
We were regrouping. But after we left Boise, we went to Northern California. So
Lake Tahoe.
yeah,
It was a little more northwest.
Eldorado.
Eldorado.
National Forest is where we stayed. And we had a great trip. But the drive from Boise to Northern California was beautiful.
Beautiful. And desolate. And strange. It was like going through a time portal.
Driving through Idaho, driving through a little bit of Oregon, and then Nevada. Beautiful. But again, it's desolate. Desolate. And this one here, he's being all risky with the gas. I'm like, babe, how's your gas looking? So I just asked Necota how his gas looked. And he said, we're good. I said, you sure? Because we got gas. There's a sign, no gas for 70 miles.
70 miles.
He was like, eh.
I looked at it. I was like, "We're good. We'll probably be at around a quarter tank." But this thing is horrible on gas.
Horrible. We thought Frank was bad.
This thing is horrible on gas.
I guesstimated that we would have about a quarter of a tank.
And you guesstimated well.
And it was about accurate.
But again, the highway was beautiful. The scenery, amazing. Something that was super impressive, though. You know that what Yellowstone is a huge volcano, but you don't expect volcanic rock to be so far away from Yellowstone. We were in Nevada. We were still seeing volcanic rock. And all along the side of the highway at one point, there was this volcanic rock. So we decided to pull over.
We lost our nephew, Mo Williams, this summer to a horrific accident, and we weren't able to go home for the funeral, and it was really difficult. It was just a hard time. And as we're driving, and I could see like all of these names and people and just things that were spelled out, it felt very cathartic to find a way to say goodbye to Mo. And so we did. We stopped, we pulled over, and talked about it a little while and sort of processed it. And I felt like I was able to say goodbye to someone that I loved. So that was that moment, and it was beautiful and strange and wonderful, and that was okay. So after that, we jumped back on the highway, and
you can't say anything more about the drive, but the moment that we pulled into Reno, that we drove through Reno, that's when we knew we were almost there. Because driving days are long days. They're long days. So yeah, once we got to Nevada, we knew we were almost at our destination. We passed up Lake Tahoe, which was beautiful, and then arrived at our campsite.
yeah.
Again, we stayed in Eldorado National Forest at a hip camp. And we decided on a hip camp to try to prevent some of the issues that we had before.
Yeah.
Like not having any service because we were working. We still ended up sitting on the side of the road working in a field because the first day we were there, we have AT&T. There was a Verizon tower on site.
And if you had Verizon,
you good.
You had 5 bars. But if you didn't have Verizon, 0 bars.
So we ended up legit in a field working. We had to drive down the mountain with our Wii Boost on trying to get 2 bars because we couldn't get online if we didn't have 2 bars. So we ended up in the middle of this field, and I wasn't happy about it.
It wasn't a horrible experience. It was beautiful, but it was a little weird and was a little awkward.
But we still had to get up at 4:30 in the morning and drive down the hill. Yeah. But the campsite was by far no view. It did not have a view, but it was the quietest. It was the nicest, most well-equipped campsite that we did. But, this was the only hip camp that we camped at. Everywhere else was national forest. Yeah. So, of course, you're not going to have amenities in a national forest. We love being in national forest because you are kind of isolated. But we didn't have that because it was peak season and everybody was in the national forest. But had bathrooms. Necota was a big fan of the bathrooms.
When we go places, we really are looking for places that troopers can go and see the same kind of things. And we know that everybody has their own amenities that they like.
Yeah,
and
everyone
things
has
that
a different comfort level.
Right, a different comfort level. And if we find something that, might be useful, we want to be able to share it with you all and let you know that, hey, you can go to this place and they do have these particular amenities. And, that one, they had a really nice a little bitty country store for the site. They had disc golf, really nice hiking trail or a trail for the disc golf to walk along.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was a lot of nice little things that were there that we were able to enjoy. But you know what they didn't have?
What?
Fire.
Oh. Well, they had really nice fire pits actually.
Beautiful fire pits.
But because we were in California,
over a 10-year drought.
Yeah, it was dry. So, the hosts there were amazing. They gave us this small grill and charcoal. We did not have lighter fluid, so Necota went to town with his blowtorch. Get you a blowtorch. Pack your blowtorch.
Fire. Beavers and butt.
But we built this fire. Necota smoked some salmon that we actually purchased in Boise and had a beautiful...
Charcoal fire.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
I didn't build a fire. I didn't want to catch California on fire. I refused to be
that person
that y'all read about in the news that went out there and started a campfire. And we recognize very casually how easy it is to do one of those fires. And I'm happy to say that we made it back and there were no fires on our dime.
None on our dime. But we did light the grill and we had a beautiful dinner. This salmon that we purchased in Boise. The fresh green beans that we also purchased at the farm, they were really good. The host at the hip camp, because we weren't going to be able to make it to the winery, he gave us a bottle of sparkling rosé. Yeah. If you like sweet wine, Kamara is good if you like sweet wine.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you a pro tip.
Give it to him. Give it to him real.
Necota didn't even know about this, but pack you some morale boosters. Not the snacks for the car. You need good snacks for the car. But there's going to be a day when you get to your campsite and you just need that thing that's going to put you over the edge. You know what we had? We had some Ben & Jerry's ice cream. So we had our nice little dinner and our sparkling wine. And then I broke up the ice cream. Necota didn't know how to act.
It was unexpected. I didn't expect to get ice cream, but it was a pleasant surprise. Yeah, during a day like today in a house, it would have been a pleasant surprise. But when you've been out
and
for 20 plus days, and it's just been hard times, and camping, you know how camping is. For her to break that out, man, you would have thought that I was at Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. I mean, I was just agreeing. But near Lake Tahoe, we were able to do a few things while we were there.
Oh, but I wanna finish talking about how dry it was in California.
Oh, Lord.
You got to talk about how dry it was in California.
Don't tell these people about my feet.
Necota should be ashamed. Actually, I'm not even going to put it all on Necota because my feet were dusty too. When you're out there walking around in sandals, I had on Birkenstocks, Necota had on some Chacos, all your toes out, and it's dusty. Like dusty. It makes dry.
Just like the Westerns.
I knew you was going to do that. But like for real, it makes your feet look like you've been walking through like cocoa powder or something. Yeah. It was disgusting.
We felt like escaped slaves. And it was like, this is it. If they see us, they're going to know. They're going to look at our feet.
You know what?
She don't find that funny.
I don't find that funny. I do.
It's still too soon.
It's too soon. It's too soon.
All right. I retract my slave joke about how dusty our feet were.
But our feet were awful dusty. But like we had to wash our feet before we walked inside of our tent before we took a shower, because I'm not convinced that had I taken a shower, I could have got my feet clean. I needed to soak them in some water. And Necota, I'm going to just let y'all watch this video, because Necota.
My feet were so dirty that I used her dirty water. That was the start for my clean water. Because it was pointless for me to even remotely use anything clean the way my feet look. Look at these feet, y'all. Look at these feet.
It was bad. It was bad. It was really bad. But outside of the dirty feet and California being so dry, we had an amazing time. We got to visit with our daughter Jasmine and her boyfriend Edric, which again, it was the end of July, beginning of August. We hadn't seen any family since January.
Which is highly unusual for us.
Yeah, it's very unusual. But it was so good to get to see her.
She was like fresh manna. She was.
Fresh manna?
Manna from the Bible when they went.
Oh. I'm a heathen.
It's so hard.
I'm a heathen.
No, I'm the
sorry.
heathen.
But you know, you guys, we wanted to go and spend the day at Lake Tahoe. But Lake Tahoe, Jasmine and Egypt, they did some recon for us, and it was packed. It was packed. So we ended up at Lower Echo Lake, which was just as beautiful. Yeah. And when you hike up the trail, there's even a view. Like, you gotta like tell the difference between the trees and the sky. But you remember that it was that little sliver of Lake Tahoe? Yeah. So we took a picture with Lake Tahoe. Jeez. We still were able to do some hiking and spend some really good social distancing, quality time with them.
Yeah.
And
they were really respectful.
Oh my gosh.
Us wanting to do social distance. And let me
Thank
tell
you
y'all.
Guys.
Let me tell y'all something. When we say that we are doing social distancing, we are truly following, to the best of our ability, the CDC guidelines. We have been socially isolating pretty much since late February. And
when we bought Dot.
We bought
Dot that weekend. We went out to eat. We went to TJ Maxx so I could have me some candles in the house. And then we stayed in.
It's been a wrap.
Yeah.
The losses have been terrible. I'm grateful for the people that are still here and that I'm able to spend time with them.
You know, I think that's a really good segue, because you're our moment of gratitude.
Yes.
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 So Jim, the owner of the hip camp that we stayed at, he suggested that we go to Lower Bear River Reservoir. Up there, again, great hiking, great views.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the views were amazing. And we got to do a little off-roading.
Off-roading, but we also got to cook on the side of the road. It was like we had a mountain to ourselves. There was nobody else up there where we were, and the overlook of Lower Bear River Reservoir was amazing.
Yeah, and Necota cooked some really good salmon cakes, crab cakes, one of the two.
Salmon cakes, I believe.
And some zucchini that we got when we were in Odessa. But the whole point in us telling you about Lower Bear River Reservoir was because we had like a serious moment of gratitude outside of the off-roading, outside of cooking the nice meals. You know, that's kind of par for the course when you overland. But for some reason at that moment, we just really took a moment to reflect on everything that we had been through. If you want to hear it, it's probably about a 30, 40-minute conversation. But if you want to hear it, a lot of this B-roll footage, we're about to set up our Patreon. So if you want some more of the behind-the-scenes footage, stay tuned. Our Patreon will be live, and you can sign up and help support us, help us take more adventures. Yeah. But we hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Yeah, we gotta wrap it up. But Colorado, y'all.
Not before Colorado.
Colorado, all of you like heavy off-roaders, this is what you're gonna want to see.
This is what you've been waiting for. We're gonna show y'all how we went through the